So, next we will look at product architecture. Okay. There are two types of architecture. One we call the modular product architecture. In the modular, and the other one is integral product architecture. So, let's look at the modular product architecture. Here every part is a module. Okay. So, think of the desktop computer. The desktop computer, each parts can be removed. Let us say the user interface or the RAM, you can break down different parts. It is easier to change. Each part is a module here. There are standard components within doing different functions. It is easier to open or repair, replace parts, upgrade. Let's say you want to upgrade RAM from 512 MB to 1 GB, right? It is possible in the desktop version, right? They have a lot of those different products. You can get different modules from different brands or companies and assemble them and create a product here also, right? These are more reuse of components. Okay, so you, some part is broken, you replace it and do that. What's the advantage of this model? This model gives you flexibility, customization. Okay, a lot of this, think of again in the example of cars, it is modular or integral. It is, some parts is modular here. The gearbox, you can change the gearbox, right? Let's say you can upgrade or change the gearbox when it goes bad. Let's say the clutch plate or your engine. These are all separate brands or separate companies. Battery, tires, right? So, all these seats, these are not made by single company. You made by different companies. You can repair, replace, upgrade, customize all these products as you go, right? These are different items. That is your basic idea of a modular product architecture. It gives flexibility and customization option, the modular architecture. Let's look at the integral product architecture. In integral product architecture, the example, let's say the desktop was a modular architecture, laptop is the example of an integral architecture. I think the components cannot be easily removed, right? If I have to upgrade or replace one part, it's not easy. You have to go to the person, and these days it is extremely difficult because the exact size or the feature of that laptop probably may not be available, that model may not be available today, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to do that. Okay, so this is your limited post purchase change, repair, upgrades are very difficult. Okay, your product variety also is limited in terms of your pre-designed product variety. You will have only fixed version, whereas in your desktop versions you can configure, right? The pre-designed your products can be configured and have multiple choices available. In the integral version, it can have multiple functionality from the single part. Let's say the single chip you will have, or the single bay area where you put different chips, they will do multiple functions here. Okay, it's very compact. This essentially optimizes form over flexibility. Right? This is a more in terms of designing for the form or the structure rather than flexibility. The modular architecture was designed for flexibility, not for form or not for utility. Here it is gives you more utility or performance than your flexibility and customizable, right? Minimizes form, size and volume of the product. You will have condense the laptop because I am using an integral product architecture. If I use a modular architecture which can be opened and assembled and so on, then you cannot have this size, right? Mobile phone, you cannot have this size with your modular architecture. Integral architecture helps us with these choices. Yeah, here it can also have higher quality in terms of small size, high quality, versus your desktop in terms, but flexibility versus quality or form versus flexibility, these are typical trade-offs when it comes to integral versus your modular structure. Now, with respect to modularity, we can think of 6 different types of modularity here. One is component sharing modularity. The same component is shared across different products. Okay, think of the example as a Intel processor or AMD processor, that i5 is used across different products. That's a component which is shared across modularity. Component swapping modularity, let's say your same charging coil or your the cable or the battery or the use in the same socket. So, these are your component swapping. The same components can be swapped across. I can use a, let's say the battery, EV battery, where you can swap the battery. That's your component swapping modularity, right? Next is your third is your cut to fit modularity. You can use it different lengths. Okay, so you can some, let's say there are trousers which have different length. You can alter the length to your use. That's one at a broad level, the cut to fit modularity, right? In the wirings, when you have, there are extra wires available which you can use it to extend and so on. It's a that is typically the cut to fit modularity. The other one is your mixed modularity, fourth one. Yeah, mixed modularity, you mix different base material to get multiple choices. Yeah. You have 3 or 4 varieties, you combine those varieties to create multiple choices or customizable choices. That's your mixed modularity. A classic example will be your paints, right? You have some basic paint, you mix 2 or 3 colors, base colors, and you can have a multiple shades of colors. That's your mixed modularity. Bus modularity, when you are aware of how electronic circuits are designed, right? It's essentially you have one plate or one which has multiple holes or ports, where this is basically called a bus. So, it's basically where you place the different chips. So, all your processors or your data card or your GUI interface, all this is a structure, it's a platform where you put all the circuits or the chips. That's your bus modularity. Sixth is your sectional modularity. Sectional modularity is there are different sections, they fit you and you can create products based on the fitting and expansion and so on. We discussed about Lego toys, right? This will be your sectional modularity. I have built one section, I can join them, right? Each are fit into each other. It's more about components and then and different sections can fit and you can make a bigger structure, right? That's your sectional modularity.